it also planted the seed of like you get prepared ahead of time. And that is something, right? If you know me, I'm like the cautious, like I try to do I try to do things, prepared ahead of time. When I was at Davis, like I went to the college fair freshman year. Nobody else, no other freshmen were at the college fair. But
Wasn't even thinking about it.
like, my dad was like, "Oh, you should go to the college fairs." I'm like, "You know what? You're right, Dad." And right, that prepared me. So December, before graduating in the June of the following year, I already had a job.
Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. You can go to our website at them4show.com, our Instagram at them4show, and our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the making.
And welcome to the M4 Show.
But we were also exposed to college campuses very early.
Mm.
My dad was very insistent upon touring different college campuses, even when we were like 14, 13,
Nice.
like not in a space to be really like seriously thinking about like where I'm going to go to college. But even locally, like we'd go tour Cal Poly Pomona, or, if we're driving up to, Northern California, we'd stop at Slow and stuff like that. Stanford, like as soon as I did start to think about like, okay, what schools am I considering applying for? We were very heavy on going to tour them.
Nice.
And so I think that planted a seed of like, this is the expectation. This is where you go next. This is where you see yourself. And so I think that's again why it was such a natural next step. There was no plan B for me, or I think my brother. It was just we like you graduate and then you go to college. Like it was such a path that was just so obviously kind of paved for us because of our experiences and our exposures. So not saying that that's what you need to do, but whatever you want that experience to be. Again, if it's, if you're trying to create maybe future entrepreneurs, like what does that look like? Right? What does that look like? But exposing them at a young age to different possibilities so that they can start to think about where do I see myself when I'm older? What do they resonate with? And even though it wasn't always like necessarily fun, I appreciate that in hindsight, like you said. And like I'm not a mother yet, but I know that there are going to be those things where it's like, I'm gonna make you do this today because I know eventually you'll appreciate it. So yeah, I wasn't necessarily excited to go tour Cal Poly Pomona, but I'm happy that we ended up doing it because again, it helped me see that like, okay, college is a path that I want to go to. And it didn't seem like a foreign thing. It was just like, oh, I've seen so many college campuses. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable here. Right. And I think it also planted the seed of like, you get prepared ahead of time. And that is something, right? If you know me, I'm like the cautious, like I try to do I try to do things, prepared ahead of time. When I was at Davis, like I went to the college fair freshman year. Nobody else, no other freshmen were at the college fair.
Wasn't even thinking about it.
But I'm like, my dad was like, "Oh, you should go to the college fairs." I'm like, "You know what? You're right, Dad." And right, that prepared me. So December, before graduating in the June of the following year, I already had a job. And all my friends were kind of freaking out, where am I going to work? Devon was freaking out where he's going to work. I had a job because I had gone to the career fair and landed a job because I was comfortable by the time I got to my 5th year because I had been going every single year.
I feel like it's also like your parents planted the seed in the habit that you do things before you're prepared to do
Before
them.
you're ready, yeah.
Right. So I think that's a huge thing. And we've continued that path like to this day of like doing things and exposing ourselves to the next level before we're actually ready for that next level. So it's interesting that you just kind of did that on autopilot.
Right.
Yeah. There was something that I wanted to add to that. You were saying exposure Look, we'll get right back into the amazing podcast. But if you didn't know, in 2017, we created Black Wall Street, the board game, because we thought more families needed to know about the history of Tulsa Black Wall Street. More families needed to know about the legacy of Black excellence left behind of Tulsa Black Wall Street, that we can own a Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Salon. We can have a Booker T. Washington High School. We can have an Uncle Steve's Barbecue. We can have a Renaissance man like Simon Berry, who had his own taxi service and bus service that got bought out by the city of Tulsa. We have brilliance in our DNA. We wanted to make sure that your family can play a game that teaches them about this brilliance. So we have Black Wall Street, the board game, right here. We had the first edition available in 2017. That got sold out. We're on the second edition right now, or you can get the beautiful masterpiece version of the game as well. It's up to you. Head to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself Black Wall Street, the board game, to empower you, your family, and generations to come. Playblackwallstreet.com. Let's get back to the episode. I feel like my parents did a good job at that as well, because I was in Young Black Scholars as a student, which is a program in the 100 Black Men of Los Angeles. And as a part of that in high school, you go to Cal State LA every weekend. And, just like you, I was not looking forward to going to those sometimes, because you have to wake up like 7 a.m. I used to go with my man, Brandon Lynch, who it was cool because his mom had a Hummer. So it was real comfortable right in those seats. I would take a good nap on the way to CSU Los Angeles. And then we would spend the whole day there. Sometimes we would get tours. There's guest speakers. We're doing like SAT prep and all of that. But that got me comfortable, he said. I also did a basketball camp at UC Santa Barbara overnight. I think it was like a 4-day basketball camp. Without your parents, you're in the dorms again. So it's like a little sneak peek into adulthood. To be honest with you, it was me and my knucklehead friend Nick, and we were playing like poker and blackjack and stuff for money. It was bad. We got caught. We had to do duck walks. My whole leg was sore. It was bad, but still a very just fun experience as a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, being separated from your parents, and just a whole week of playing basketball with your friends was good exposure. So yeah, good job, parents. We see y'all. Yes. Y'all planted some seeds that we're continuing to water and eat the fruit from years later. So again, thank you for our audience member who submitted that question. I don't know if you want to be anonymous or not, so I'm not saying the name, but we appreciate you, and we definitely look forward to just more questions from the audience, right? Because we do this for y'all, right? We can get up here, we can talk about anything, right? It's fun stuff, but we do want to make sure that we are hitting topics that are meaningful and valuable to you and your family. So definitely make sure you put in the comments or DM us on Instagram at the M4 Show if you have any additional topics. Thank you for supporting the M4 Show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening. Go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.